Manufactured food and put it into this nice, neat, pretty little package, and we put it on the shelf, and it feeds the masses, and we don't have to refrigerate it, and it lasts a really long time, and we make a lot of money off it. But it's sacrificing ourselves, it's at the expense of our health, and now it's at the expense of our children's health. What really is going on in the American diet and the American food source? So let's talk about what that is. I mentioned the word processed food. Does anybody know what processed food is, technically? Or untechnically?
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts, sure. Yeah. Chemically altered. Great example. Chemically altered, sure. And over time, our body adjusts. And so in children, we see it as lack of focus and hyperactivity. In adults, we see it as fatigue and depression. We consume more antidepressants in this country than anywhere in the world, and we're still not getting better. We used to spend less than 10% of our finances on health care and 20% on groceries. And now the average American spends about 20% on health care and less than 10% on groceries. We don't want to pay a lot for our food. We want the dollar value meal. We want everything as quick and as convenient and as simple as possible. And now we're paying for it, and we're paying a pretty high price. We start to see colds and flus take this interesting trend associated with Halloween and Valentine's Day. I wonder why that is. It's because we consume all this extra junk food that the body then goes, I don't know what to do with, and the immune system gets depleted. So now we've got children that their brains or chemistry are being altered by the food that they eat. It's really supposed to be fuel. It's supposed to be what we use to burn energy, our gasoline. And so the gas tank is sending a direct message to the brain. It's sending off those sensor lights in the dashboard. It's not independent of the brain. They're starting to actually call the gut flora the second brain because it possesses what's called an enteric nervous system, which communicates to the first brain. So we're holding on to all that food inside our intestinal tract, and it does something really interesting. It starts to create little tiny little holes. After time, it just kind of stretches out that intestinal tract, and we create these little tiny little pinholes. And through those little pinholes, we release food particles into our bloodstream. So now we've got these undigested food particles into our bloodstream, and they make opiate-like peptides. Because I've got this sugar-like substance, it'll taste really sweet. It's really low cost for me to buy. I can sit it on the shelf for a really long time so I can use it as I want, and it preserves the item that I'm putting it into. I've kind of hit the jackpot as a manufacturer. But it's kind of doing all that same thing inside our body. It's helping to preserve the things that we're supposed to break down and convert into fuel and nutrients. The vitamins and nutrients that are necessary to keep us calm and relaxed, they're in depletion of. When we don't have enough magnesium, vitamins work synergistically together. When we don't have enough magnesium, chances are we don't have enough B6. They're finding that kids that have ADD and ADHD are really low in B6. You need all the B's for the B6 to work. You need the magnesium for the B6 to work. So we're getting this void of nutrients. So complex a protein chain. Now let's think about this. It's breast milk of a cow designed to grow a baby calf into a full-size cow within a year. And now we're going to pump that cow full of growth hormones, and we alter its pituitary gland so that it makes milk really, really fast and more than it would for its own young. And now that also alters our phosphorus count. So now we're back to depleting the calcium and magnesium out of our system. So the food product that we're being told is loaded with calcium and is important for your children's bone health actually is leaching calcium out of the body. So it kind of becomes a contradiction in terms as to what it actually does. Again, that calcium and magnesium is sedating. And more kids with ADHD and ADD have depleted levels of calcium and magnesium in their bodies.